But there is a flip side to this thing. Just like compounding interest works in the positive, it also works in the negative. What do I mean by that? If you have a credit card payment, and let's just say your payment for round numbers is $1,000. I'm sorry, your balance is $1,000. And then your credit card interest rate is 30%. If that's the case and you let that thing just sit, the next month you're now paying 30% on top of the $1,000, which then comes up to 300 bucks in interest that you're paying now. But if you let that thing sit and don't pay down on it, now you're paying 30% the following month on $1,300. Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 137. 137 weeks of consistency, 137 weeks of getting it done. As always, we outside. If you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for joining us. On this podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finances, among other things. If you are a return watcher, listener, or subscriber, thank you so much for joining us again. Hopefully, we are adding value to your lives on the way to the M's, because we are on the way to the M's. And you may say, Che, what is the M's? What does that mean? Talking about millions of dollars. We are getting to it. And that is what the journey is about. So, before we get started, I just wanted to say again, thank you to all the listeners, watchers, and subscribers for commenting, for liking, for sharing any of this content, whether it's a clip on Instagram or TikTok, or sharing this entire episode or these episodes that I've been coming out with. Definitely appreciate it. And thank you so much for your support. Wealth is a Journey is moving, y'all. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, I wanted to let you know that we just got trademarked not too long ago. So Wealth is a Journey is mine. It is trademarked, and I am super excited, man. The journey to get trademarked was long. It was tedious. It was a lot of back and forth. And shout out to L, my trademark attorney, who helped me to uh, get to the finish line, because it was a year and a half, 2 year process to get this thing done. And we finally got it done. And I just wanted to say shout out to L for persevering and for not giving up, because it was a long road. So yes, Wealth is a Journey is now trademarked. So super excited about that. But today's episode, we are going to talk about a couple different things. And when I pass through church, or walking through the hallways at work, or just talking to different people on one-on-one coaching, counseling, things of that nature, the conversation is, "Yo, I just paid off this credit card," or "Hey, I'm almost done paying my car off," or "Hey, I just paid my car off," or "I paid something off," which that needs to be celebrated. It needs to be applauded. But I think the sense of accomplishment and the sense of "I did it," sometimes we have the tendency to stop there. When, if we really think about it, the credit card or the car payment, that's just the beginning, because there's other consumer debts that we need to take care of. So then that can free us up money to do the cool things that we want to do. Go on trips that are paid for in advance, before we come back, and not have to put it on a credit card and then come back. And then months later, then we're paying the thing off and down. If you have no debt, or consumer debt is what I'm saying, you're freed up to do the nice and cool things that you want to do. And what it made me think of when I talk to different people is compound interest. and compounding. And you may say, well, what is compound interest? Like, you may have heard of it, but Einstein calls it the eighth wonder of the world. And the way compound interest works, if you don't know, is, let's just say you have $1,000 that you put into an investment account, bank, whatever the case may be, an investment vehicle. That $1,000, let's just say you're getting paid 10% for round numbers. You're getting paid 10% per year for the $1,000 being in this investment account. The way compound interest works is, for the first year, you get 10% on your money, which is $100 in this example. And then the following year, instead of you getting paid $100 on your original investment, now you're getting paid um 10% on the $1,100 that you now have invested. So the first year you get $100. The next year you get 10% on the $1,100, and then it just keeps compounding over and over and over again. And that's how wealthy people get wealthy. So it's not just about the initial investment, which that's a start, which is great, but we need to continue to stack up the investments, stack up the habits to get us where we want to go. Now, the $1,100 is great. That example is amazing. We need to continue to compound our money, but there is a flip side to this thing. Just like compounding interest works in the positive, it also works in the negative. What do I mean by that? If you have a credit card payment, and let's just say your payment for round numbers is $1,000. I'm sorry, your balance is $1,000. And then your credit card interest rate is 30%. If that's the case and you let that thing just sit, the next month you're now paying 30% on top of the $1,000, which then comes up to $300 in interest that you're paying now. But if you let that thing sit and don't pay down on it, now you're paying 30% the following month on $1,300. What's going on, family? My name is Che Willis, the medicine to your financial headache, and I help families living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through financial planning and wealth management. Did you know that the number one cause for divorce is money fights and money problems? If you are struggling financially with your spouse, you have come to the right place. We have an online course, we have a community, and we have one-on-one coaching that can help you live your best financial life and cut down on a lot of the money fights that you and your spouse are currently having. So if you are struggling, please make sure that you go to wealthisajourney.com to fix the issues that you guys are having currently surrounding money. A lot of us were never taught, and that's okay. But if you know that you need help, do not stay stuck. It's time to start living your best financial life with your spouse starting today. So go to wealthisajourney.com so you can start living your best financial life starting today. Let's go. So the way that our compound interest worked in the positive with the $1,100 or the initial investment of $1,000, then you get the first year you get $100 in interest. The same thing works in the negative with your 30% interest rate that you have on your credit card or you have on your car payment, so forth and so on. So the reason that we're talking about this is because you need to understand that paying off that first debt is amazing. That's a start. That's great. But we have to keep going. Why do we have to keep going? Because as we're on our journey, what you'll realize is that the more money you get to keep, you can make yourself wealthy by investing the money or putting it into a savings account or whatever the case may be. But the reason that we're doing this is paying things down is because we don't want to make the banks rich. We don't want to make whoever's holding our car note, whoever's holding our mortgage note, whoever's holding our student loan note. We don't want to make them rich. We don't want to make them wealthy. They're already wealthy. We want to make ourselves wealthy. So the more money we get to keep, the more money we'll end up making for ourselves. And I understand that it can be lonely going through your financial journey. If you're going through it by yourself, if you're a single person or you're married and you handle all the finances on your own and your spouse doesn't want to look at anything financial and you're going through this journey alone, I completely understand that. This is why we have the Wealth Builders community. We have the Wealth Builders community where we meet once a month on Zoom. We talk about financial wins, areas of opportunity, and strategies to get you to the M's. And in this community, we have now going on a challenge, a weight loss challenge, meaning that we're trying to trim the fat. The fat is getting rid of our debt. Why do we want to get rid of our debt? Because the more money we get to keep, the more money we get to make. And we're not making the banks rich, we're making ourselves rich. So the whole thing about wealth building is stacking up wins. The way we keep winning is we win at the small thing first, and then we keep continuing to try to win. So if you have multiple debts, get the first one paid off, then snowball that payment into the second one. And then when we have that one paid off, then we snowball that into the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the fifth one. Now what happens is if you are able to invest, let's just say $150 a month when you have all of your debts, those 5 debts that we just talked about. If you're able to invest $150 a month, that is amazing. Very good start, right? But what if you look at all of your debts and see that you are paying, for round numbers, let's just say $1,000 a month in debts that you are paying down. Once you get rid of all of those debts, now you take the $150 that you are investing currently, and then the $1,000 that you are paying in your consumer debts. Now you have $1,150 to invest every month. Or you can split it, invest half of that money into your investment account, and then the other half into a trip or whatever you want to do. But the point is, the money's yours. You can do whatever you want to do with it. So if you are lonely, if you're feeling stressed out and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to continue to stack wins, you get one win, you get excited, and then you feel like, hey, I got all this money now to spend because I just paid, let's just say, the car off. But you still have other debts. We got to keep going. But if you need that extra push, if you need that accountability, that's what the community is about. You have a bunch of people that are marching towards the same goal to get to a destination together. We are cheering each other on. We are putting our wins in our WhatsApp group in the chat to help other people keep going. We're not trying to brag or boast about what we got going on. Seeing other people win that have your best interest at heart, that helps you to keep going, whether you know it or not. This is what the community is about. So it is available to you, but the whole point of the compound interest piece is that we have to continue to stack wins. Many people get discouraged as they're on their financial journey because they don't see wins right away. We live in a microwave world where we want to see instant wins. We want to see instant gratification, and it just doesn't work like that. Sometimes your financial situation, it did not happen overnight. So if you have 10,000 in debt or 5,000 in debt or $2,500 worth of consumer debt, it didn't happen overnight. It happened because you made consistent choices to borrow money to get and achieve the thing that you were looking to buy, which is fine. It's not a problem. But if you want to get rid of the thing, you do have a solution. Now, what we need to do is we need to pay the one thing off first, and then roll that into the next payment and next payment and next payment. And that's exactly how that works. So compounding interest works the same way with your habits. So what does that mean? If you're in the mode and you have the goal and the dream of paying these things down, the compounding works with you paying down the one thing first and paying the one thing off. And then that habit then rolls into the next habit, into the next habit. So compounding works with money, compounding works with weight loss, compounding works with you being able to pay the things down that you need to pay down. But what we're trying to do here is we are trying to stack wins. We are trying to compound wins because when once we win once, that gives us the belief and that gives us the understanding that we can continue to win. I can't tell you the amount of times that I wanted to quit this podcast. Why? Because I didn't see immediate wins. But I understood that the goal was not to get the uh a million views. It was to get the right views. The views of the people who are going to take action or the community. Joining the community, did I want 150 people or 1,000 people to join right away? Absolutely. But we have the right people in there who are looking to take action. People who want to do the one-on-one calls. It's the same thing. Like whenever you're on any type of journey, whether it's in business or financial, whatever the case may be, you're not going to be as lit as you think you are immediately. And that's probably a good thing because there are so many lessons along the way on any type of journey that you're on, and you need those lessons to build character, to build a muscle that lets you know, hey, everything's not going to happen all at once. But those lessons, if you learn them along the way and you just tuck them away, then that's going to help you be a stronger leader in whatever thing that you're doing. So then when you have somebody else in your family or your circle of influence to ask you how you did what you did, then you can tell them, but then you can also tell them the things to look out for. Look out for pride. Look out for not seeing immediate wins right away, but understanding that you have to keep going because the beauty is in the journey, not in the destination, not in the end result, even though it is great, but there's so many lessons in the journey. That's where the rubber meets the road, right? So I'm saying all that to say that we need to keep going. So if you are paying things down and you're currently um, on your financial journey where you're looking to be able to invest a bunch of money, understand that you can't invest money that you do not have. So the way that we're going to get money is we're going to pay the things down that we currently owe on. So we're not making the banks rich, we're making ourselves rich. And it's a journey. It's going to take a while. But here's what I'll tell you. If you are a good steward over your finances, I believe that God will uh, honor that and see what you're trying to do, and He will add to what you're doing. Ask me how I know. That's exactly how we paid our house off because I believe that God saw that we were good stewards over our finances. Me and my wife got on the same page with our money, and then He blessed us with stocks that I didn't even know that I had. So years later, found out that we had the stocks, and I believe that God blessed us with that, and then we were able to completely pay our house off. So when we're going through our journey, understand too that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. All you have to do is start. And that's exactly what we did. We started paying off our consumer debts. We knocked the consumer debts off. We kept going, trying to knock the house off. And then years later, as we were trying to knock the house off, then God said, boom, here you go. So if he did that for us, he can do it for you too. And that's what this is all about. I went through a journey for 7.5 years trying to pay this house off. And I'm now telling you how we did it. So it goes back to what I talked about earlier. You go through something, you go through a journey, and now whatever lessons you learned along the way, you can now pour into other people and let them know how you did what you did. See how it works? Yes. So that is the episode. I wanted to make sure that you guys understood with what compounding interest is. You might have heard the saying before, but maybe not understood exactly how it works. And again, it works in the positive. You also need to understand how it works in the negative too. So if you have consumer debts that you want to take care of and you're on your journey, just pay your minimum payments on all of your debts, and then knock the smallest one off first. And then take that payment that you were paying on the smallest one and then roll that into the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And now you're rolling. And then sooner than later, you'll have a pile of money just waiting for you to put somewhere to make that money move and make you more money and more money and more money. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So that's the episode, man. We're talking about compound interest. Let's go get it, y'all. If you need help, please join the community and understand how you are going to get to your financial destination with a group of people who are also trying to move towards the same goal to get to their financial destination as well. Let's go. Wealth is a journey. We will see you next week. Peace.